Gam Welcome to Satsang. We pray that your families, your communities, and you are safe, healthy, at home, of course. And that in this time you're finding peace, finding serenity within, finding solace within, but also using this time to go within. To really delve within in this time where the world has forced our bodies to have to stop. How are we using this time? So I pray that you're in peace, in joy, in connection and communion with whoever's under your four walls and roof, if anyone. With your community online, your community here in Rishikesh and maybe other communities as well. And mostly that connection with the divine within, that connection with that in you, which isn't stressed, that in you which isn't afraid, that in you which isn't sick or healthy, inside or outside, locked down or at the office, but that you, that this lockdown is giving you an opportunity to spend some time deep diving to meet. So we have a question that came from Paul Godfrey on Facebook. And it says, is yoga a religion? No. Yoga literally means union. That's what the Sanskrit word means. And so it is a way of the path of yoga. The different streams of yoga are ways of uniting with the divine. Now that overlaps religion in some way because at its core, at its highest, that's really what religion should do for us. At the fundamental level, religion really should be that which shows us how to connect to God. Not just rules, not just dogma, not just books, not lists, not names, not stories. I mean, all of those are part of it. But those are more, you could think of them as the accessories rather than the core, the decoration rather than the content. The content of religion really should be that which unites us with God. And so whether we unite through that which we may call the Hindu way of union, or rather what Hindus would call Sanatan Dharma, or the Muslim way, the Islamic way, or the Christian way, or the Jewish way, or the Sikh way, or Jain way, or Buddhist way, or even the way of those who say, I'm spiritual but not religious. That overlap between these streams in yoga is that fundamentally all of these different ways of religion should be giving us a way of uniting with God. Along with that, they give us ways of understanding God, ways of understanding ourselves, ways of understanding the universe and our place in it, ways of understanding how to move through the universe such that we are in alignment with the divine. So in that way, yoga overlaps religion. But it isn't a religion in and of itself. Doing yoga as a Christian isn't going to change your religion. Doing yoga as a Muslim isn't going to change your religion. Doing yoga as a Jew or a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Sikh or a Jain or an atheist isn't going to change your religion. There's no sense of, oh, now that you've stood on your head, your religion has changed. Yoga gives us tools, paths that apply to every religion. So typically when we talk about yoga, we tend to speak about it either as Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, this different streams in, so a path of wisdom, knowledge, learning, what we call Jnana Yoga, the path of who am I, that takes us into an understanding I am God. A path of what we call bhakti, devotion, love, path of loving God. Karma Yoga, path of serving God. Different ways of attaining union. Or sometimes when we talk about yoga, we tend to speak about it in terms of the 8 limbs of yoga, what we call Ashtanga Yoga, given to us by the sage Patanjali. But if you look at the foundation of yoga that he gave us, if you look at the yam and the niyam, what we call more colloquially the yamas and the niyamas, the do's and the don'ts, the 10 commandments, there's nothing in there about your religion. There's nothing in there about how we must worship God or understand God or refer to God. It's things like nonviolence, truthfulness, non-stealing, non-hoarding. I mean, there are ways of living in the universe with an understanding that yoga is who I am, not just what I do on a mat. And so that is the core of yoga. But whether you are a person of a religion or a person of no religion, it doesn't matter. These teachings are for all. Whether you're being a non-violent, truthful Hindu or a non-violent, truthful Muslim or Christian or Jew, it doesn't matter. So there's nothing in there about changing a religion or converting or adopting a religion. It's about adopting a world view and a self-view of oneness and unity rather than separation. And while I'm far from any kind of a scholar on the world's religions, one of the things that I think many of them have in common, or at least the mystic elements, the mystic aspects of many of them have in common, is this awareness, this experience of the lover and the beloved are one. And that's yoga. The 8th limb is samadhi, ecstasy, bliss. Well, why? Why suddenly, after I've gone through the 7th limb of meditation, why would I suddenly enter a state of bliss and ecstasy? No pills, no drugs, no nothing. Where did that bliss and ecstasy come from? I was just sitting here in dhyan, the 7th limb. How somehow does samadhi, the 8th limb, come? Well, it comes through union. It's the bliss of union, the ecstasy of union that comes through meditation. Not any particular form, not one way or one technique or upon one form of God, but through that deep meditation in which I'm meditating on God, I'm meditating on God, I'm meditating on God, and suddenly the meditator and the object of meditation become one. And it doesn't matter what form of God or name of God I was meditating upon, that union is complete. And that's the samadhi that yoga talks about. So it's deeply spiritual. It brings us that union that religion at its purest should bring us. But in and of itself, it's not a religion. In terms of anything that would stick it in a box that was separate from any other religion. Yoga is that which I think in many ways flows through our religions and unites us to God. So whatever your religion is, or if you're a committed, adamant atheist, either way, do yoga. It's going to really, really, really serve you on every level.
We have a question that's come on the Facebook chat tonight from Vivek Sabarwal. Can we delve back into our past lives, and how do we do that?
So it's fascinating because we are so stuck in this life. Whoever you talk to, they're stuck. My job, my family, my husband or wife, my kids, my in-laws, my mortgage, my own ego, my childhood, my unfulfilled expectations, my unattainable dreams, my drama, my story. I mean, we're all really stuck in so many ways in this life. And yet, so many people have this drive somehow to expand the pot. Let's also throw in all of my past lives. And it's interesting because this life presents enough of a challenge. There's a reason that the universe has created a system where a curtain drops as we move from life into the next life. Because we are really, if you're really honest with yourself, we are not so great at navigating our relationships just in this life. How many people have really dharmic, conscious, awakened relationships with spouses, with their parents, with their children, with their neighbors, with their employers or employees? Now you imagine, in the midst of your already existing drama with your next door neighbor or with your spouse or with your mother-in-law, that suddenly you know that in your past birth, your boss was your wife, or your mother-in-law was your arch enemy. I mean, imagine all of the extra layers of drama and tension that would bring into your life. I mean, it's bad enough navigating just this life. And then imagine that you've actually got visions of all of them. So in this life, it's your annoying boss. But you look at him or her and you see, oh my God, your husband or your wife from a past life. And then you look a little deeper and you realize they were your child. Then you look a little deeper. They were your enemy. You look a little deeper. They were your murderer. Go back again. You were their murderer. Can you imagine the difficulty of simply taking notes in a meeting? Can you imagine the difficulty of simply jotting down a list of items to do today? So, yes, we can access them. There are ways through certain meditations, through certain past life regression techniques. But my really sincere suggestion would be, only do that once you really feel like you've got this life under control. When your relationships in this life feel really clear, really conscious, really dharmic, there's no ego nonsense, there's no identity nonsense, there's no role issues. And you find that your spiritual path is just unfolding beautifully. And you're looking to add another layer because, well, life's gotten really easy. Okay. Why not? But first get this life under control. First be able to be in the same room or the same house or the same block or the same building or the same city with someone. With your roles in this life, with ease and non-attachment, and expansion and love, before you start bringing in unnecessarily different ingredients into your soup. Manage this one first. And then what you may find is, as your meditation deepens, that curtain rises automatically. Certain awarenesses will just come, feelings will come, knowings will come. They'll come automatically. May hit you like an intuition, just a sense of knowing. The universe is very, very good at giving us what we need, giving us the tools we need when we're quiet and still enough to receive them. So see what happens automatically on your path. And then if you want to go out and find someone schooled in taking you through a regression to a past life, sure, why not? But not until you're really sure that you've got this one all sorted out.
We have another question from Facebook tonight. Pooja Talwar is asking, how do you get rid of bad karma?
So, the way that karma works, let's call it there's good news and there's bad news. So, the bad news is that although we speak sometimes about a karmic bank account, it doesn't actually work like a bank account. So in my normal bank account, if I put in 10 rupees and I take out 5 rupees, I've still got 5 rupees left. Or if I put in 10 rupees and I take out 20 rupees, I'm only in debt by 10 rupees. They cancel each other out. But in our life karma, it doesn't unfortunately work like that. All of that which we do has a response from the universe. like the laws of physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Plant an apple seed, you get an apple tree. Plant an orange seed, you get an orange tree. Assuming, of course, the conditions are favorable. Now, the action, the planting of the seed is actually the karma. That which comes is the fruit of the karma. Karma means action. So what I've done is the karma. The response to that is the fruit of that karma. Now, the universe does not have preferences. The universe loves apples as much as oranges and peaches and non-fruit-giving trees and fragrance-giving vines and non-fragrance-giving vines and the lush trees of springtime, the dry branches of winter. The universe doesn't have any preferences. We have preferences. So when you speak about bad karma, realize that really all that means is fruits of actions that you're not enjoying at the moment. You've got fruit in your lap, fruit that is up for you in your life that you're not enjoying. It's bitter, which means that at some point in this life or in past lives, you planted those seeds or you allowed those seeds to be planted. But it's not a punishment. As the universe doesn't have preferences, the universe is also not dishing out rewards or punishments. It's not, oh, you did something wrong, so you got bad karma. Plant a seed, get the fruit. It's sweet and juicy, you call it good karma. It's bitter, you call it bad karma. But either way, it's really just fruit of the seeds that your choices, your decisions, your actions have planted. So all of those fruits go into our karmic bank accounts. And you can think about it as in the sweet fruits in one bank account and the bitter fruits in another. The ones that we're enjoying in one bank account, the ones that we're not enjoying in the other, what we would call the good karma and bad karma. They don't, unfortunately, cancel each other out. So that's the bad news. Whatever actions you have done that are bearing bitter fruit, no amount of good actions are going to somehow negate the bitter fruit. That's the bad news. However, there's good news, which is a couple-fold. Number one, the actions that you're doing, the positive karma that you're doing is having many impacts. Number one, it is changing the nature of who you are. You are becoming different, which means that all of your actions and choices and decisions from here on out will be different, which means that all of the fruit coming in will be different. But also, there's grace in the universe. And the power of grace, the power of sadhana, is that it doesn't remove what we've done, but it mitigates it. And so they talk a lot about that power of seva, that power of the Guru's grace, being that which, for example, let's say that an accident was written into your destiny. That had to happen as the fruit of something you'd planted in the past. Well, now, instead of perhaps being a tragic accident in which you suffered greatly or died. Now you stub your toe. Or now you knock your glass of water off the table and it falls and splashes and you get all wet. Or maybe you have a dream of a horrible accident. Ways in which that karmic result happened, but it happened in a mitigated way. And that's the power of grace, the power of your sadhana, of your seva, of the guru, of your awakening, of your realizations, is to mitigate it. When I was in 7th grade, I think it was, we had a science fair project. Every year we had these science fair projects. And one year, I think it was 7th grade, the science fair project was that would shoot a raw egg 15 feet or maybe 50 feet, I don't remember what it was, into the air and have it land without breaking. Now obviously everybody knows if an egg is dropped even a foot off the ground, it's going to break. So at 12 and 13 years of age in 7th grade, we were given this assignment. And everybody had different ideas. My idea was a rocket ship with a parachute, and the egg was going to parachute down, and I don't think it worked. I think my egg broke, if I remember. But in any case, one of the kids in my class put that egg into the center of a Nerf football. It's like a big foam ball. And put the egg in the center of the ball, and the egg shot up into the air, landed, didn't break because it had, 3 inches of foam on all sides, maybe 4 inches of foam on all sides. And for me, that's a very visual way of thinking about the good news of that power of grace, of seva, of sadhana, of prayer, is that egg is still going to drop. It still gets shot in the air, it still gets dropped down. But now, instead of landing on the ground and going splat, the universe sort of gives it this foam thing in which it lands and therefore doesn't break. So that's the good news. And the other piece of good news is a very large part of that which is happening to you is happening in response to that which you are doing now. Yes, that which we did in the past is still impacting us. There is still an impact of our past karma. But most of that which is happening in the future is happening in response to what I'm doing right now. And so whatever fruit you want to have in your life in the future, ask yourself, what seeds am I planting right now? Yeah, there's still going to be some fruit from seeds you've planted in the past. But we're planting new seeds every minute, every moment. And those determine the fruit that's going to be in our lives tomorrow, next month, next year, next life. So plant the seeds of sweet fruit. So that's what will blossom in your life. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, night, morning, day, afternoon, wherever you are. Have a really beautiful one. A really safe one. A really healthy one. And a really connected one. Let's continue to use this really special time the universe has given us to experience that power of connection. We talk about being connected across oceans and continents. We don't even have to do it now just in our energetic bodies. We've got these great powers of technology to make it happen. And let's really come together to connect. It'll stay with us in the new normal that we're going to need to create in our post-corona era. But we'll talk more about that on another night.